Hi Sarah.
Hi.
So we're here in London,
Yeah.
Green Park. What's it like being vegan in London?
Well, I've only lived here for about 11 months this time. I've been vegan the whole time, and it has been like an adjustment. Being here, because I knew everything, when I was living in New Zealand, I knew where to get all of my food from, and it wasn't quite such a hassle. But I'm slowly kind of getting used to, where I can buy things, and I go to Holland and Barrett.
Yeah.
Quite often. So it's good in that sense. But like in New Zealand, I there was a big kind of community of vegans that I was involved with, and as it happened, there were quite a lot of families with small children,
cool.
Children's age. So we all, had regular meetings and that kind of thing. And there are some groups over here like that, but like London's just like so massive. It's really hard to, organise.
Mm.
But we've gone to a few of the meetups actually.
Do you think it's important for vegans to socialise with other vegans?
Yeah, I do. I just think that just having that kind of common, bond and way of thinking, because it is a way of thinking. It's important to be with people that think the same. You can just be like, yeah, I can just be myself, with these people, and they understand how I think. Yeah.
So what's your day job?
I work in a school in Chelsea, and I help, in the learning support unit. So I do enjoy it to a point, but I get frustrated there because I just think it's too strict, and I think that the children should have more opportunity for playing, and I think that like the school would get the results that they want if they allowed that to happen, but they don't.
What do you think's the advantages of playing?
Well, I think that it helps the children. It helps them just be themselves, and it's just fun for them at the, in the moment. But it also has other benefits. Being cooperative, being motivated, being ready for learning in a school environment, and there's a whole bunch of research out there saying that these children need more of it, but it's not being looked at.
Why do you think there's a limited amount of play in school?
Well, I think that it's just entrenched, and it's been that way, for a long time. And I think, like in the school I work in, I see or hear teachers complaining about the the SLT, the senior leadership team, and how everything's really strict, and there's not much what's the word, communication. I think all things boil down to a lack of communication, really, like every single problem on this planet. But if they would just have open ears, or just let these kids play, the children can't even play ball games in the playground. It's just complete madness. If they could just release this energy that they've got. Instead, they're being told they can't fidget. You're going to get a detention if you you know, move a muscle. It's crazy. And it's not helping those children, it's just making it worse.
So what would your dream job be?
Well, it would be changing this attitude, you know, in schools and providing them with, you know, evidence of how, you know, play can benefit these children and get them the grades that the schools want, and you know, and just, you know, it's just a whole way of being. It's like being holistic rather than teaching to tests and you know, like they're on a production. These children are on a production line, you know. And I think it's the way that the teachers would teach if they were able to, you know, because they're all in it because they like children, I suppose, or they want the best for these kids, but they're limited in what they can do.
So you took a group of school children to the zoo. What did it feel like to do that?
Well, I was told that I was going to go, and I said to my what do you call her? Not manager, but something like that. I said that I didn't want to go. I said it's for personal reasons. It's, you know, because I've got certain beliefs. I don't want to go. And she said, oh, well, you know, we're going to have to start mucking around with everyone. Can you just go? So I was like, okay. And I thought, no, I'm not going to go. And I spoke to a couple of people, and one of them said, you know, you should go because, you know, if somebody else goes in your place, then these children aren't going to hear, you know, anything out of your mouth, and they won't ever have that thought about what these animals are going through. So I thought, she's right, and yeah, I'm not paying for the ticket, and it's a good opportunity, you know. So I took, you know, we split, there were 4 adults, about, I don't know, 30 kids or something, got split up into groups of 7 or 8, and I took this group around, and, you know, at every stop was like, how, oh God, isn't it horrible? Like, I can't stand to see these animals, you know, being trapped here, and, you know, they're here for their whole lives, and, you know, we can just come in for a couple of hours, and then we can, you know, we can go off, and we can go and, like, wander around for hours if we want to, you know, and we can go on a plane and go to, you know, other countries, and these animals are just trapped here for their whole lives.
Yeah.
And it's not, you know, how would you feel if you were trapped like these animals? And, you know, that happened you know, for all, you know, in all the different enclosures. I hate that word enclosure as well, it really bothers me. And one girl asked me if I was vegan. I think maybe she'd heard I was vegan, because I have a bag and it says vegan on it.
Yeah, I'll probably say it.
Take it around school with me. Yeah, so we got talking about being vegan, and you know, she was, you know, talking to me about being vegetarian, and you know, like, everybody thinks it's going to be really hard to be vegan, but it's not.
So you're glad you went?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am in it. Yeah, I'm glad I went. Yeah.
So you have 2 children, and you brought them up vegan.
Yeah.
Did you find that difficult?
I have found it difficult in some ways, you know, like in terms of you know, like just with other families and friends and stuff, because well, when I had my first son, we were vegetarian, but for the last, you know, 3.5 years we've been vegan, and it was like quite a change. And when I first became vegan, I was, really like, oh my God, everybody should be thinking this way. And I spent a lot of time at a place called Play Centre where I took my children. It was a parent cooperative. And so, I was involved with other parents, and I think I clashed a bit with them, which I kind of regret a little bit in a way now. I think I could have done it a little bit differently. But I think, like when we came here last year, and Hunter was starting school, that's ironically my first son's name. The school has an obligation to provide all the children his age with free school meals. So they, up to year 2, I think it is, or something. So they got, they made a special menu just
that's
for him,
really good.
which was really good. I was really quite impressed and happy about that, So that's been like one good thing that I haven't, had to battle for.
So, how do you explain to your children like why they are vegan and other people are still eating meat?
Well, I say to them that we're kind to animals and we don't eat meat, and we don't, eat eggs or drink cow's milk because, we're kind, and we know, the harm that it causes, and sometimes they do ask, like, well, why does so and so eat meat? Or, and they say, well, they don't think about it. We have to understand that they don't think about it in the same way that we do. And I think it will be interesting for my children to grow up, when they're adults looking back, having not been like in the matrix, and knowing knowing the truth for their whole lives. Yeah. I wonder like how it will affect their friendships with people and stuff, like when it comes down to it, like when they're teenagers and stuff.
Are you scared that they may like turn meat eaters as they grow up?
I don't know. I don't think that my oldest son will become a meat eater. I think he knows, but I think that my youngest son, is more. I don't know. I think that he probably wouldn't either. I think I will give them like the opportunity to decide for themselves at some point. When I was growing up, I was vegetarian, and my parents, I guess I was about 8 or 9, took me and my brother and my sister to a restaurant and told us that we could eat meat if we wanted to. And we just like looked at each other and were like, ooh, gross.
That's
and
cool.
So I hope that they have the same kind of reaction. And I think they will, because it's, they've just known this, since they can remember.
Yeah. So do you think children should have a choice in what they eat?
Well, I think that I think there's a difference. Like if you're vegan, I think that you're more likely to stay vegan. I mean, if you're a meat eater, like your parents fed you meat without your permission, and would you have eaten meat? Would you have eaten dead animals when you were 2 or 3 or 4? Knowing that they were dead animals. No, I don't think that they would have. So, and they've had to like suppress those feelings in order to keep eating that stuff.
Yeah.
Like once they realise that they're actually eating a part of a dead pig or a dead cow or whatever. And they can make jokes and all of that kind of stuff, but like I know that deep down, like there are feelings in there about it. So do I think that that they should have a choice? Well, I think that the animals don't have a choice, and that's what's like wrong about it.
Yeah. You're doing a charity run?
Yeah.
What is it in need of?
I'm running a marathon on the 29th of August, and it's for. I decided to run it because I've been thinking about running another marathon. I've run 2 marathons before, and I actually raised money for an animal sanctuary in New Zealand. I raised about $3,000 for them over 2 marathons. And this time I thought about, should I run for an animal charity, or should I run for something else? And there are so many kind of things to run for. But I just thought, well, right now in my life, I'm really inspired by this adventure playground in Lambeth, and it's called Lollard Street Adventure Playground, and it's run by the Kennington Association, which is a registered charity, and I've just like fallen in love with the place, and I think that the intention that the adults there have for the children are just like awesome, and I think that I really wish that everyone could see like how special these kids are. They're just wonderful, so I want to raise money for them, maybe to go on a camping trip. Because they probably won't get that opportunity otherwise. And to bring some veganism into it, I potentially might be doing a healthy eating course, or whatever you want to call it, over the summer. So they're finding out about the funding for it in a week or 2, and because I'm vegan, obviously I will be only cooking vegan food, which will be really cool. And I don't know if I would discuss being vegan with them. Like, I think it's hard. It's hard to because they're going to go back home and be eating meat probably, but at least I can go away with like a clean conscience, and know that no animal was harmed, and that they might want to make this stuff, in their own time, and that will mean less meat eating, less harm.
Why did you become vegan?
I became vegan because I thought that I had a moment, like a moment of clarity. I took my children to a farm on a trip, a play centre trip, and we were in this shed. Finn was crying, so I had to sit down and breastfeed him. He was about 5 months old or something at the time, and there was a cow in this enclosure, so the cow actually couldn't turn around or anything. And then there, all the children were sitting on the floor, and this lady came on stage with her microphone and was talking about the cow, and then she said, and now you can come up and you can touch the cow and you can milk the cow, and I was sitting there breastfeeding Finn, and I just thought oh my God, I would hate to be in there and being touched and milked because I'm a woman who's lactating, and it's not right, and just because this animal is in a different form, it doesn't make it right. at all. It makes it wrong.
Yeah.
You know. So I had that like moment there, and I knew that I needed to be vegan then, but I didn't become vegan straight away. My son was, he had really bad eczema, and the doctor told me to stop drinking milk because, you know, that might be affecting his eczema. So I stopped drinking milk, and I did lots of research on the internet about, you know, milk and eggs, and I just thought, like, oh my god, I can't believe that in all of my, you know, I was 32 or 33 at the time, and I just thought, I can't believe I never even considered, you know, didn't even cross my mind that there was any harm in drinking milk. You know, I knew about battery cages, I knew about the difference between free-range eggs and battery eggs. But I still didn't see anything, you know, like, because everybody just thinks that animals are there for them, you know, like it just is just so part of our culture, you know, like, just don't even think about it. And then once I thought about it, I started to feel sick actually when I was eating that stuff. And then my son ended up having allergies to dairy and milk and cashews, so that was like the final you know, moment. And I was actually quite afraid to tell my husband that I wanted to be vegan. I just thought that might ruin our relationship. And I didn't know how he would be. And you know, luckily before we'd had Hunter, you know, I'd said to him that I wanted my children to be vegetarian. And for me, like, going from vegetarian to vegan wasn't such a big leap. But in his, you know, in his mind, like even now, like, he gets annoyed about it sometimes. Like if he's angry, he'll always bring up the fact.
So do you have any tips for people that want to go vegan?
Well, I was talking to a lady at work actually last week, and I was saying that some people find it easier to do breakfast, a vegan breakfast for a week or 2 weeks, and then a breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
And then breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you know, and just do it like over time, and see you know how it works. Because if you just do it one meal at a time, it won't seem like such a massive deal. Yeah, and also get in touch with other vegans. You know, find them on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.